Hello everybody and welcome back. We're here for round 4 out of 7 for the Midwest Endurance Series. This week we're at Silverstone. Looks like already we've got a couple of disqualifications there, but we got most everybody's coming out onto going on their outlaps right now. So see what kind of times everyone's going to be putting up. It looks like we might have some rain a little bit later in the race here, so we'll see if anyone's opting to go for a wet setup or maybe find somewhere in between, or see what kind of strategies they're gonna have for that. Got Fuse Rogue here on a flying lap, just coming in sector 2 now. He's coming into a pretty tricky part of the track here. It's real easy if you're just off by a little bit to really throw yourself out of groove for that whole corner there. So he does well to maintain that there. Probably see a few drivers struggling with that a little bit later, as we've got a yellow flag in sector 1. Might have had a spin there from somebody. We got Fuse Rogue here in the Haas, and they are sitting in 3rd place currently in our constructor standings. We just were able to get ahead of Red Bull after last week in Mexico. Ahead by 2 points there. And we've got Fuse Rogue is going to set at 129.1. It's going to be the benchmark for everyone to kind of go off of right now. Got Jonathan Dunk. He's also on a flying lap currently. He's just set the fastest sector 1 time as well. Jonathan Dunk is in the Alpine, and they are currently sitting 1st in the constructors with a total of 80 points there. Got 12-point lead over Ferrari in 2nd, Haas 3rd, Red Bull 4th. Mercedes had a big showing last weekend. They were able to bring themselves from 10th all the way up to 6th place. Get themselves, maybe they could fight for a 3rd place here, as we're kind of running out of races here. Only going to have 3 more after this. We got early retirement from Grumpy Old Catman. Looks like that was on track as well. I might have had a little bit of an incident there. Alpha sitting on the grass there. There's a big pile up there right on the start there. Jonathan Dunk able to set the fastest last lap time though with a 128.6. That is pretty interesting there. Oops indeed. Got quite a few guys out on their laps currently. El Majaka now has the fastest lap time, 128.4. Got 2 tenths ahead there of J Dunks. Got They'll never been 7th with the slowest time so far on the board of a 130. Buck 3123 here on his first flying lap. He was winner last round out. He had a very commanding lead. I think he finished with about 13 seconds over. He managed to pull out that kind of gap in about 4 or 5 laps, I believe it was. So curious to see what he's going to be up to this weekend. It's going to come across to the 128.1. It's going to be the fastest lap there. So it's going to be a pretty competitive bunch among the top 3 or 4, it's looking like, all staying pretty close to each other. So curious to see how that's going to translate later on in the session here. Light work in Williams here. He's currently on an out lap, just making his way out of the pits right now. Darksider and DeGabry as well, both on out laps, just kind of warming up their tires, getting themselves into a nice window. Bobby Yaga is still in the pits, yet to come out. Unit Twin has done 3 laps on this set of soft tires, but it must have been invalidating his laps because he doesn't have anything on the board just yet. But he set the fastest sector 1 time. It's running a little low on ERS, so I'm not sure if he's going to continue this lap here or abandon it and come into the pits for a fresher set. Work here is coming into sector 3. We'll ride on board with him for his flying lap. Expecting him to be fighting among the top 3 or 4 drivers here tonight. Coming down here to turn 1 is going to be a pretty hectic, and there's pretty much just flat out right turn there. It can be pretty chaotic at times, and then you got to slam on the brakes here coming into turn 2. You get some nice rotation there. Coming through this little turn here, and you're going to get flat out. Want to get down power as quickly as possible, but as you saw there, it's pretty easy to lose the rear end. Does well to gain control of it. A lot of these corners here, you kind of just got to feather your throttle a little bit. It looks like he's lost it a little bit there again. Just going to have to slow down there and correct that one there. This spoils his lap time a little bit. But this track is a pretty fun track to race at, I think. Personally, I always enjoy going a few laps around here. Darksider here is on a flying lap, not too far behind. Light work there ahead of him. Got DRS open here on this straight. You want to keep the wheel as straight as possible so you can maintain speed. Nice rotation there. Like this is going to be a pretty solid lap time here for Darksider, but it is only good enough for P12 with 130.9. Lightwork had a 136.5 after he had a little bit of a mistake there in the beginning of his lap. Scott DeGabry is also looking like he's not on track right now. He's invalidated his lap, but he's moved himself up from the bottom. He went up to the 129.0 to P5 there. Top 4 drivers all within a few tenths of each other, and then the 5th all the way down through 9th are all just a few tenths off of each other as well. Got quite a few guys in the pits currently, a couple on out laps. light work here is coming through sector 2. Maybe trying to improve on his lap time there. Optic yet to set a time, same with Baba Yaga. And they're probably going to want to get out there and set a lap because it is only the top 15 who are going to be moving on to Q2 in just about 5 minutes or so. But go ahead and pull up some standings here, give you guys a full overview of this. Light work puts in the fastest lap with a 127.8 there. That's a lot more of a representative lap than his previous one, so I was able to get a solid result in there. So constructors, we can go through that one more time. So now that we got a few more guys here in the chat, we got Alpine currently in P1, followed by Ferrari, Haas, Red Bull in P4, McLaren bringing up 5th, Mercedes, AlphaTauri, Williams, and then Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin coming in at 9th and 10th there. So we're going to be needing a big weekend from Alfa Romeo, Aston Martin, and Williams. They're going to need to have a good result here as we're at just pretty much at the halfway point in our season. So if they're going to want to turn this championship around for themselves, they're going to have to put in some pretty big results here tonight. And then as far as driver standings, we've got a pretty good mix here. El Majacco has still got himself a very nice lead with 66 points over Get It to Win It. He's got down in 42 points to his name. Followed in P3 is going to be Ford, Gravity, not Gravity, 4th. I'm going to have DeGabry 5th, and Jordan is going to be 7th. And then Buck, after his win last week, he's going to be sitting in P8 currently. The Random Dutchman in 9th, and then Villeneuve in 11th. So yeah, got a pretty good mix there for your top 10. KB is going to be 12. Grumpy Old Catman, Saya is going to be at 13th. Baba Yaga following him. We've had a few drivers switch around a little bit, so not currently sure how many of those guys a little bit farther down are still racing full time. But yeah, should be a pretty good race here. We got a possibility for a few changes around. The second and third being pretty close to each other. Forward just got to deliver a pretty solid result here tonight, and he'll be able to maybe get himself over Get It to Win It, who is out in Q1. So if he can keep himself all the way through to Q3, he should be in a pretty solid spot there. They just got a few guys left out on track currently. CPL Optic is going to set the fastest lap there with a 127.7, so a huge lap from him there. He went down from P14 all the way to pole position at the moment. Here, it's not looking like many people are going to be able to challenge that in the top there. El Majacco is sitting in the pits, but I think he'll have enough time to get around for another lap. So this is going to be it from most of these guys here. Front runner is also not on a flying lap, but it would appear Darksider and Bourbon and Bill all are as well. Baba Yaga is also coming into sector 3 on his flying lap. He's coming around to the final corner now. He's able to put himself P13, so he is through to Q2. As most of the guys had a disqualifying down there. Darksider now is going to be pushing real hard here to get himself up. He has invalidated his lap, so it's going to be just about it for him. As Burden also invalidates his lap, just went a little bit too wide there, so not going to be able to do much with that. Vale has also invalidated on his lap time, so I'm not sure anyone out there is still, other than Yaga, or maybe the only one out who hasn't invalidated. But imagine all of these guys going to be coming in. And they are. So that's going to be the end of Q1 for you. So we're going to have Perfect Pawn, Dutchman, Get It to Win It, and Grumpy Old Catman all had early retirements in Q1, so they were going to be out, as well as Darksider there. He's going to be a lap here unless he's able to improve. So we'll stay on board with him and see what kind of lap he's able to produce. And there's a yellow flag in Sector 3. Spaviaga can went off the track there. Looks like he's clear though and making his way around. So Darksider is the only one who's able... Oh, and he goes wide there. Not sure that's gonna help him move up there with his time. And that is going to be it for qualifying. As Darksider goes wide there, looks like he may not have the best setup for this track here. Looks like he's struggling for a little bit of grip, or his tires might have... And he's on fresh tires. So that's unfortunate for him. He's going to be looking to make his way up. Sometimes it's better to be in the back going into all that turn 1 chaos to kind of steer clear and maybe hold on to your front wing a little bit easier that way. And there you have your Q1 standings there. And we're going to move into Q2. So there you have it. Top of the board is, aside from Optic, who put in a heater of a lap there, and Lightwork up next to him. Looks like everyone's still kind of staying pretty consistent there in the top there. Not everybody was kind of pushing their max, I don't believe. So yeah, we just got a few out down on the bottom there. We're going to be moving on to Q2 here. Keep an eye on some of these guys up at the top. I'm going to keep an eye on Lightwork, Buck, and Jonathan Dunk, as well as Fused Rogue. Expecting those guys to be kind of battling away. I've known those guys for a while, and they're pretty competitive amongst themselves, I must say. So hopefully they can put in a bit of a performance for us tonight. Currently on board with Forward here in the Red Bull. He's just going to be looking to have a better weekend this weekend out. Hopefully get himself up onto the podium. See if he can pull out a lead for himself and take second in the Drivers' Championship, as well as help get third back for Red Bull in the constructors. Got a lot of guys, 4 guys out on track right now currently. Let's see what kind of lap times they're going to be setting in for everybody. This Fuse Rogue is going to be currently leading the queue of cars on their way to set a lap. Imagine he's going to want to have a little bit of breathing room. I'm sure some of the McLaren there behind him is going to slow down a little bit for him. This Darksider has retired from the session already. So not sure what's going on there. Fuse Rogue is just going to be the first to start his flying lap here. This Buck is going to be the second across the lines. Both these guys are battling it out for P2 early on, even the first parts of Q1. The yellow flag, it looks like the burden in the McLaren has had a spin there. About half the drivers out there now on flying laps, so we'll see a couple of lap times here shortly. This Fuse Rogue has been able to put in a pretty solid lap so far. He's a pretty consistent driver, and he definitely has the pace to back it up as well. He's now in sector 3, coming in the last few corners here. His car slowed down nicely there. He's able to get on the power nicely. He doesn't really have a lot of wheel spin, and he comes across with a 129.6. Gonna see if Buck is able to beat it. Yes, he is, with a 128.1. So he's got a pretty good there, and Elma Jacko has come to split the two of them with a 128.6 and forward with a 128.9. He's just getting pushed down a little bit there, but I'm sure he'll have another lap for us. And you got light work is looking like he's invalidated his lap, so he'll have to go around one more time. Looks like he's been saving up his ERS. Just go out on another fly. Might have enough fuel to do 2 laps there. It's a little bit of a lock up there. He was able to go P5. The 129.2. Slayer has 129.9. Burden 129.8. Some pretty solid laps from these guys here. This light work is going through sector 1. That's the fastest sector 1 time of the evening so far. Get on the power nice and slow, doesn't want to get himself too much wheel spin there and lose traction in the middle of the corner. It's hard to get a save from that one there. Seems to have set himself up nicely through this set of corners here. Doesn't lose too much speed going through there, which is really nice. Goes a bit onto the grass there, but makes it work for him. He's got the fastest sector 2 time as well. This is looking like it's going to be a pretty solid lap from him if he can just finish this out strongly here. He's got a lot of grip from his car at the moment. He's able to go P2 with that lap there, the 128.3, so just 2/10 off of Buck, just ahead of him. So it's looking like it's going to be another pretty solid battle for who's going to come out on top at the start of this race. Got a big queue of cars there. It looks like his Burden is on an invalidated lap right now. See if he's going to be able to get himself a better lap time on the board. Slayerized also looks to be doing the same. He's out of ERS himself. As DeGabry is coming into the final corner now. See what kind of time he's able to put out for us. And he goes P8 with a 129.5 there. This is a pretty solid lap from him. We'll see what everyone else is going to be posting up here, and if he may need to come out and set another lap time. Not sure how much the track is going to be rubbering up for these guys to improve in the later bits of qualifying. Looks like Slayer Eyes is low on fuel there. Optic is out. He had the fastest lap time of Q1, so I imagine he's going to be right up at the top there in the other Red Bull there. Red Bull's got a pretty solid driver lineup for this weekend. Ford is very consistent, and Optic here appears to be very, very speedy. So we'll see how they fare this weekend. Traffic does well to get out of the way there. Oh, and a big spin there from Optic. Not sure if he had any damage there, but he is in the gravel. See if he's able to get his car moving again. And that is unfortunate for him. He was expecting a solid lap there, but commentator's curse at its finest. We'll catch up with him in a minute. So Baba Yaga is on an out lap, and Front Runner is on a fine lap right now. He's just starting that lap. He's got he got the top 9 all in the pits currently. Maybe also on a flying lap there. Slayer Eyes making his way into the pits, followed behind by Optics. Front Runner set the fastest sector 1 time. It's worth noting. See what he's able to pull out in sector 2 if he's able to get a good jump on some of these guys who are in the pits there, pull himself out of the bottom. He is one of the few drivers. Oh, and he does invalidate. Looks like he's going to back off, maybe charge up his ERS and go again. That is unfortunate. He's not going to have a whole lot of time left in Q2 to set a flying lap. So see what he's able to do. Front Runner is going to make his way into the pits before he gets a new set of tires. As Baba Yaga has invalidated his lap as well. Optic's still in the pits, and we've got a few guys coming out on the track now. We've got Ferrari, Phil, and Slayer Eyes both on outlaps here. Ferrari rocking that new livery. They ran in Monza this last weekend. So, controversial race. I bring Malcolm Massey back, but nobody likes my opinions much, so I'll just keep that one to myself. Let's see what kind of time some of these bottom guys are going to have. They only got 4 minutes left in qualifying, so they have an option of either wait until the last second till the track is rubberized and put to maximum and hope that they're able to set a solid lap time, or get out there a little bit early in case they do make a mistake and need to set a secondary lap as well. So we'll see what those guys are able to do. It looks like the top 6 are still in the pits for the moment. I imagine most of them aren't going to be coming out, won't need to. Times are a bit closer this qualifying session, but CPL Optic is on an outlap currently in sector 1, so right on board with him when he comes around. It's going to be hoping to set a lap rather quickly. I'm not sure if he'll need to come back in or if he's going to have another top of the leaderboards lap. So we'll see what he's able to do. It's Jonathan Dunker's going to retire in the pits there. Happy with his time of 128.8. It's got him in P4. He's definitely going to be safe, I would say. So Optic is now coming around the final little bit of his outlap. Nice rotation there through the first few corners. He's able to keep the car on the racing line there, not run too wide. So Baba Yaga and Slayerized going to be looking to improve their laps a good bit. Especially Baba Yaga, he's down on a 130.6. Going to need to improve on that if he wants to see Q3. Optic sets the fastest sector 2 time. I feel like he's got himself set up very nicely, able to hold on to the car this time around. Coming through there, looked like he was getting pretty loose there, but held on to it. So around his final little bit, he's coming in. This is looking like it's going to be a great lap from him, and that is going to put him on P1 in the moment, provisional pole with a 127.4. Very, very nice lap from him. He's got front runner. He's on a flying lap now as well. And he has invalidated, so that is unfortunate for him. Don't think he's going to have enough time to make it all the way back around. Got some guys on flying laps behind him that he's got to slow down for. Oh, that's unfortunate from him, not able to set a lap. Just hopefully he's able to get around in time. I don't have enough ERS left on board to set a lap there. But no, we just saw go by from the front runner's perspective. He is currently up 3/10 on his sector 2, going through sector 2. Would put him fighting for that 10th slot. See what he's able to bring out here. And he goes P10, improving by 4/10 of a second there. It's going to put him. The only opportunity for him to lose his spot is going to be by Fuse Rogue, who is up by 8/10 of a second. Looking like he's gonna make it through. Oh, and I spoke too soon, as Fuse Rogue has a spin there. Gonna just get a tally out here and count how often people spin. That is unfortunate from Fuse, and it allows Burden to hold on to P10 though and make it through to Q3. And that is gonna wrap up qualifying. We've got Not Gravity currently on a lap though. He's getting the last car out on track. There you have Q2. It's over now, and we've got Optic, Buck, Lightwork, Jacko, J Dunk. Forward, Not Gravity, Vil, Slayer Eyes, and Burden are your top 10. Gonna be moving on to Q3 here. Gonna be battling out, and we're gonna lose just a few guys there in the bottom. The bottom 5 were not able to come through qualifying, as most of you guys watching probably know. It was a pretty exciting qualifying too there for us. A couple spins, nothing too crazy, but there you can see got Gabri, Fuse Rogue, Baba Yaga, Darksider, and Frontrunner all leaving as Frontrunner not able to set a time invalidated or had to spin every time he was on doing high in his best. And Darksider actually retired very early on in the session. Not sure if that was a strategy call or what, but there you can see your top 10. And we're gonna move on here in a second to Q3, where these guys are gonna battle it out, see who can claim pole position today for Silverstone. Well, hello, White Dragon. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful Friday evening. And everyone else in the chat, let me know who you think's gonna claim pole position here. I want to see some wild guesses, and not everyone say the same old thing of Buck. But we'll see what kind of pace these guys have. Come on, Vil, you got this. Easy. Activate crossplay in the game. I'm not sure. Optic? You think Optic's got it? You know, Optic is looking like a strong option there. I think we may see a surprise appearance from Jacko, possibly. Or maybe J-Dunk is going to be able to put it on pole. We'll see. Just putting some pressure on you guys, so hopefully you can deliver for me. And so far on our spin counter for the night, we've got Fuse Rogue. It's the only one I was able to capture on stream. So he's up to 1. He's leading the charge there. Very nice of him to do that for us. A few guys on outlaps now. We got just 3 still in the pits. But they are making their way out as well, it's starting to look like. Pretty excited to see what McLaren can bring this weekend. Buck has had the pace and won in Mexico. Nah, you. Sorry, Fuse. But Buck had the pace to win out in Mexico last week, and Burden was looking very solid there early on, but had an accident and was unable to finish that race last weekend. But we'll see if he's able to finish this weekend. It'll be a strong point showing from them. Looking like Red Bull could also be dominant. We got a pretty balanced team as well. It's got a couple on flying laps now. It looks like forward in the Red Bull there. It's a very sleek looking car, I must say. Really do always love the Red Bull. first straightaway of sector 1. This looks like we got Optic is the last in the pits. You know, he likes to wait until the last moment to come out and surprise everybody. So I imagine him to follow that same train of thought again. Other than that, everyone else is making their way out. J-Dunk the last two. Ford able to set himself up nicely, loses a bit of speed there. Some of these other drivers are able to carry a bit more speed through there, so that's something he's going to probably be trying to look out for during the race to improve on. His car holds down nice and sticky there for him. Coming into the final set of corners. See what he's able to do. Almajaka with a 127.9 is the first across the line. Forward with a 128.3, so just a bit off the pace there for pole. But always room to improve as the track rubs in a bit more. Slayer coming P3 with a 128.9 for Williams. Nice time from him there. Sure, the top guys are going to be going a bit faster as Lightwork has set the fastest sector 2 time. Yeah, Baba, that was a strong performance there in Q2. I'm keeping an eye on you. I have noticed you've been getting better as Lightwork's at the 127.2. But keep it clean, keep it consistent, and I bet you can get a top 10 finish out there tonight. Burden has gone P5 with a 145.7, not a super representative lap time of what he's capable of, as J-Dunk has gone with a 128.2, putting himself up into P3. So we got Buck in the pits, Optic in the pits. Vale is on 1 lap. Old tires might have invalidated his first lap. Not Gravity coming out on his out lap currently. As we have J-Dunk with a little bit of a spin, doing some off-road drifting here, it looks like. Blowing a little bit of grass on the way. So just gonna put him up to 1 on that good old tally board as well. Looks like Vale is coming into the pits and having invalidated his lap time. Might not have enough fuel to go out. Again, as Burden is also coming into the pits just ahead of him. We see Buck is now on his out lap. Got some new fresher tires, it looks like. Chopped off the fuel. His tire is nice and warmed up there. Lightwork is still holding provisional pole at the moment with a stalking 127.2. He's got himself 7/10 clear almost of P2, held by Majako at the moment, followed by J-Dunk. I imagine Optic is going to be coming in, sneaking in last minute. See if he's going to put himself up on pole again, or if Lightwork is able to defend that provisional pole at the moment. Not Gravity is just coming through sector 1 on his flying lap. And Buck is just starting his now. Let's see what these guys are able to bring out here. Jacko is also on an out lap. Buck just goes past him on track. So Gravity has a nice rotation there. Maintains good amount of speed. You always want to have as much speed as you can through there. It gives you a little bit of an advantage over this on this straight here, especially if you're trying to chase someone down with DRS. It's not gravity is able to go the fastest there. We got a little under 4 minutes left in qualifying. So I imagine he's going to make his way to the pits for some fresh tires and probably come out again. This Buck has yet to set a lap. He's coming down into the final bit of Sector 3 currently. Optic also has yet to set a lap, and Vale, who is on his out lap, has yet to put up the time as well. And Buck is able to go P2 with a 127.7, giving himself a little bit of a challenge ahead. I've only got 5 tenths to close on provisional pole at the moment. Let's see what Vale is able to pull out for us. He's got himself well into the 2 minutes already. It's not looking like a representative lap time for him. Jacko's coming through Sector 1 now, looking to improve his time a little bit earlier than everyone else. Cuts nice and wide off track there, but keeps one wheel on track to avoid track limits. Is he able to hold it there? No, he is not, so he's going to invalidate that lap there. And he might have time to dive into the pits, or he may just have to collect his ERS and go again if he wants to improve on that lap time he's got currently. So we've got a few guys coming out of the pits. Got J-Dunk forward and not Gravity. Gravity is coming into the pits, I should say. Forward on starting his out lap currently, following closely behind Optic, who he's able to keep himself clean without as many spins here. Could be seeing him fighting pole as Buck is the first to retire up in P2 with a 127.7. He's happy with that lap time there, wants to save his tires for the race. So forward's going to want to try to stay tucked into that slipstream if he can from his teammate up ahead, and be able to give them both a bit of a strong showing if they could both be up and fighting in the top 5 right off the bat. Be nice to see that. Is coming up on his flying lap now, and he has a big spin there, but it looks like his teammate is able to avoid that. That is unfortunate from Optic. Maybe his tires weren't quite warmed up, or a little overheated maybe even. We're right on board with his teammate, forward 23, sitting 5th currently. Looking like he's going to want to improve on his time, see what he's able to do. Sets the fastest Sector 1 time. That's something to shake a stick at there. Checkered flag is out for a few drivers. Looks like Gravity, Burden, Villa, and Slayer Eyes will not be improving on their times. He gets a little bit out of shape coming in there, but he regains control of the car quickly. He's up 3 tenths on his current time, which would see him moving just ahead of Jonathan Dunk, who is also out on track at the moment. Optic is able to get himself up into P4 at the moment, as Jonathan Dunk is just barely up on his previous lap time. He needs to pull out 2 times if he wants to regain that lead over Forward. See if he's able to snag something in this last couple corners here. It's not looking like it. He's able to get himself 2 tenths actually. Puts him right back ahead of Forward. But not by much. Lightwork is back into the pits, looking like he's safe on his time. Claiming pole for us this evening is Elma Jacko is down by 38 seconds without fuel. So big effort there from Lightwork with a pretty early lap time. I believe he only set 1 lap time, I want to say, looking to get that 127.2 right off the bat. So impressive lap from him. No one is able to match that. And the Jacko is going to be in P2 with Buck starting in 3rd. Jonathan Dunk, Forward, Gravity bring up 4, 5, and 6. Burden is 7th, Vil in 8th, Slayerized in 9th, and Optic, who is unable to set a lap time, had a spin on his first flying lap, and with only a minute left in qualifying wasn't able to bring it back around. So he will start 10th for us, but I imagine he's going to have a little bit of pace over a lot of those guys ahead of him off the start there. Hopefully he's going to be able to move up the field a little bit. And there you have it, your top 10 for qualifying once again. Lightwork has got pole position here tonight, and Jacko is starting in P2, Buck in P3, followed by J Dunk. Forward, Gravity, Burden, Vil, Slayerized, and Optic was the only one unable to set a lap time for us there.